Well, whatever the decision by an Egyptian court in Cairo on Saturday, the fear was it was always going to lead to violence. It did. A judge upheld death sentences for 21 people, all involved in last year's football riot in Port Said that claimed more than 70 lives. That decision produced ugly scenes in Port Said, but also in Cairo, and there supporters of Al Ahly Football Club were angry that there weren't further harsh sentences for others. In unrelated clashes with police, at least 2 people have died in Cairo.
Confirming death sentences for 21 residents of Port Said for their role in last year's deadly football riots.
The death penalty by hanging.
The judge read out the names of each defendant as he upheld January's controversial ruling. 5 others were given life in prison, while dozens more were given lighter sentences or acquitted. In Port Said, angry protesters took to the streets after the verdict was announced. They believe the court was prejudiced against their team's supporters.
This verdict is politicized. It is skewed in favor of Cairo fans instead of the Port Said fans. How can they do this? It is shocking.
The verdict has been delivered, and we saw an incredible roller coaster of emotions here. First off, outrage. That's because 21 defendants who had earlier been sentenced to death, the judge in this trial confirmed those death sentences. That triggered howls and screams of grief and anguish, and then a remarkable shift in emotions. That's because the remaining defendants, several were acquitted, others received prison sentences, no death sentences, and that sparked a mini celebration among some of the people watching.
Protesters enraged by the ruling set fire to police facilities and the headquarters of the Soccer Association in Cairo. Then they clashed with security forces. Health Ministry officials say 2 people were killed and 27 others were injured in the violence. The government has deployed military troops to quell the violence.
Most of the victims who died were supporters of the Cairo team, and fans vented their anger at the court decision, with some threatening further violence if more people were not charged. Other buildings were torched, including a police social club and a fast food outlet. A police helicopter scooped up water from the nearby Nile River and dropped it on the buildings in a bid to bring the fires under control. There are reports Molotov cocktails were uncovered in the social club, which had not ignited.